Three of them were sitting in the cafeteria, munching on their lunch. Suddenly, Neha's phone rang. Guys, lunch break is over. Seems like we have to run to the lab. She picked up the phone. You all have 3 minutes. The body just arrived. And he cut the call. One day I will cut him open and do autopsy on him. Let's go, we have to run. The cafeteria is on third floor and unfortunately the lift isn't working. So they ran and reached the door of the lab. Sir, we are back. Tell us from where to start. Shruti, collect the yellow file from the table and then gather around the victim's body. They all gathered around and Dr. Das started to explain. I was informed that the victim was drunk, too much, and as soon as she passed out on the table in front of her, she was brutally stabbed in her lower abdomen. But to the surprise of the investigation department, there was no such weapon found. They collected all the possible samples from the place and sent it to us. Okay, so victim's name is Nisha Shah, 45 years old. She was found lifeless in the Starling bar. She worked in a biochemistry research center. She visited this bar frequently after her working hours. Now we have to find out her death reason and also the weapon. Ooh, this is going to be interesting. Rana, seal your mouth. Sir, we will start our work as soon as we can. Rana, follow me to examine the samples. Neha started to examine the flask from which the victim was having her drink, while Rana was checking the blood sample under microscope which was collected from that place. Shruti was preparing for autopsy. On checking upon the blood sample, Rana found that the RBCs bursted because water rapidly entered in the cell, causing hemolysis. As soon as Neha opened the flask, a faint vapor was seen coming out of the flask. She then poured the remaining drink in a small beaker. The drink had a sweet smell with a faint vapor. She tried to touch the vapor with her fingers. Ah, my thumb! It's burning! Rana immediately wrapped her thumb with a wet cloth and applied Bernal on the surface. Oh shit! It's liquid nitrogen! Oh my goodness! Sir, don't touch the victim! But Dr. Das had already touched the victim's wound and immediately that area had crack marks due to his touch. She ran to his side to check the condition. Sir, I'm sure she was given liquid nitrogen because it is found in a drink in a minimum amount. So, we can only perform an electrocardiogram and see her internal organs through x-rays. Okay then, Shruti, do the needful. Neha, take some rest after your work is done. He then went in his cabin. He's not that bad, unless the work is not completed. After 30 minutes, Sir, I think I have solved the mystery of the weapon. Really? Then tell me. Sir, when I checked on the blood samples, I found that all the RBCs were bursted due to hemolysis, which means water rapidly entered into the cell through osmosis. So now the question arises that, was the weapon dipped in water before committing the murder? But that cannot be possible because the angle of the stabbing in her stomach explains no human can do it. Then I noticed the length and pattern of the stab and saw that it doesn't match with any kind of knife or swords, which means the weapon was made on spot with different shape and design. Finally, I understood that the weapon was knife and it was made out of ice. So when she was stabbed, it made a cut and after some time it melted, leaving blood mixed with water. Bravo! Impressive, Rana! What about you, Shruti? Sir, in the electrocardiogram, the heart showed asystolia followed by wide ventricular complexes. The situs of the larynx and pharynx showed pathology finding. Hyoid bone and thyroid cartilage were also intact. Few lymph nodes in the mesentery of the small intestine were slightly enlarged. Interesting. Neha, what about her drink? Sir, her drink was mixed with 0.01 ml liquid nitrogen. As she was having her drink from a flask, so she wasn't aware of the fact. Moreover, that flask was Dewar flask, specially designed to store liquid nitrogen. Well done, you all. Finally, it is solved. Now make a hard copy report and send it to the police department. Finally, I can have my sandwich in peace.